Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to our next edition of Quilts in Italy. We'll get started here in about 4 minutes. Woohoo! Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It's really windy and rainy and cooling down here in northern Illinois. It's very, very windy outside. Oh my gosh. But we'll get started here in about 3 more minutes. Okay. Let's see. I want to pull a window for myself. And this one here. Here we go. Alrighty. That's good. Okay. So what we're doing today, we're going to be cutting our fabric for this next quilt top in this series that I've been doing live here on YouTube. And it is based on a book by Fassett. Hi, Mia. Good afternoon. So this is the book. This is what this is based on. In the description below the video, there is actually a link where you can purchase this book on Amazon, or go to your local quilt shop, or bookstore. You should be able to get it from them as well. Hi, Janelle. I'm happy to be back. Oh my gosh. I am still recovering from those 6 weeks of travel. It's always fun, but I tell you, the older I get, the bigger toll it takes on me as far as bouncing back after something like that. But this is the quilt that we're doing next, right here. It's the blue and white quilt. Just 2 fabrics, so should be pretty easy to do. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to start cutting out. And we're just going to go ahead and get started, everybody. So I'm going to swap my camera so you can see what I'm looking at here. And right down here, so this is page 58 in the book. And this is page 59. Here are your cutting instructions. Hi, Mark. Hi, Tracy. Oh gosh, Tracy, I used to work in Parker, Colorado when I still lived in Denver. So the pieces are labeled A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So we're going to cut these out one at a time, starting with the A pieces, the letter A. The cutting instructions are right here in this center column is where that begins. And we're going to get started. I have 3.5 yards of 2 fabrics. I'll show you what I selected. You can move the keyboard out of my way. So, the 2 fabrics I selected are right here. These are from Wyndham. This is beautiful blue fabric, and then this is just like an ivory colored fabric right over here. I'm going to bring my camera down so you can get a better look at my fabrics. There's what they'll look like sewn together. Very nice. This is going to be beautiful. And that being said, I actually cut 3.5 yards of each fabric. Hi Alexis. Good to see you. Oh my goodness, it's been a while. And I haven't been on for a while, everybody. I apologize for that. But what I have discovered from out on the road to do the type of videos that I want, excuse me, hotel Wi-Fi is not reliable. It's great for checking your email and stuff like that. But to actually transmit live video doesn't always work well. Oh, wonderful, Tracy. Our condo was actually in Aurora. And I actually worked for a time at CarMax down there in Parker. Yes. Parker's a beautiful, beautiful town just south of Denver. So, here's our fabrics. We are going to get started. So, fabric A, piece shape A in the book, we're going to cut an 8.5 by 3.5 inch rectangle in the blue. One piece. Well, that's easy enough. Now the 3.5, that is where I'm going to cut my strips at. So I'm going to look down here and see if there's another one that has 3.5 in it. D has 3.5. So I can cut, I won't waste any fabric is what I'm getting at. So I'm going to cut a 3.5 inch strip of fabric off of the blue to get started. Okay. And this fabric is fresh off the bolt, has not been pre-washed, all that fun stuff. Line the fold line right here up on my cutting, with my cutting mat, right there on that line so I can see these numbers. Make sure it's laying nice and square. Nice and even. There we go. And I'm actually going to cut now. And I'm going to move to a different camera so you can get a better view of actually what I'm doing here. So I'm going to line this up here at the very edge on the 0 mark. And I'm going to square up my fabric. Here we go. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to move over and cut it at 3.5 inches. 3.5. What I'm using is a Creative Grids ruler. Folks, I have to stand up when I cut, otherwise it will slip on me. And I don't want that. Okay, there's 3.5 for that. Now then, I'm just going to fold the rest of it out of the way. And I need to cut one piece 8.5 inches. I will be able to use this leftover fabric from this strip for one of the steps on down the line here. So I'm going to square that up. And now I'm going to cut it at 8.5. And there we go. 3.5 by 8.5. Our first piece is cut. That's the only piece for Group A. I'm just going to fold this up neatly and lay it to the side. I'll be reusing the rest of this at one of the next steps. Okay. I also have my phone over here laying down with the calculator on it when I'm calculating how many strips I'll have to cut. Blah, blah, blah. So, and I'm just going to do them in order. A, B, C, D, E, all that fun stuff. And I'm going to keep it nice and neatly organized that way. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a double layer. Excuse me. This way I have 4 layers and I'll cut 2 strips with 1 cut. Okay, nice and neat. And let's see how many pieces we have to cut for B. B is 1.5 inch strips, 6.5 inches by 6.5. So 42 divided by 6.5. I can get at least 6 pieces per strip. And I need basically 22 and 24. Let's use 24. So 24 divided by 6 equals 4. So I need 4 strips, 4 1.5 strips cut from each fabric. So I'm going to layer both fabrics. Each fabric is a double thickness. So I will be cutting 2 blue and 2 of the ivory at the same time. And that'll make the process just go quite a bit quicker. Key is just getting it all lined up. I like to line up the folds. I've actually only got to make 2 cuts for group B. Okay, 2 cuts for group B. First we're going to square it up. Go. That's our squaring up cut. And now I need 2 cuts at 1.5 inches. 2 cuts at 1.5 inches. Okay, and 1 more. And I am using the grids on my cutting mat to cut this. Okay, there's all the strips cut for B. I'm going to fold those over and lay them to the side over here. Because what I'm going to do while all my fabric is layered right here, I'm going to cut out the strips that I'll need for the remaining groups. Next is group C. C is in Charlie. And those are 8 by 3 inches, the cuts. So 3-inch strips. Let me see here. I need I need, I think I need 3-inch cuts. That'd be 6. I am going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to cut 4 and go from there and see how that works for me. So just 2 cuts here. That would give me 4 strips of each. Here we go. There's C. A, B, and C are now cut the strips. Start off, I'm just cutting my strips. D is at 3.5, so I have left over 3.5 here. So let's see, how many of these do I need? 12 and 14, 14. So and 4 of each of those. So I'm going to do the same cut here. 4 and 4. So just 2 more cuts at 3.5. This is the way I do it. You can cut yours out however you choose to do so. Because the way I look at it, if I were to end up not having enough fabric, and there should be plenty of fabric, if you buy 3.5 and 3.5 for it, you can always piece the fabric together if you need like just another 1 or 2 pieces. And I do that, and we'll see if that happens. I don't think it will. Okay. There's 1 at 3.5. I need 1 more. Be 16. There is BC. There's D. Group D is cut, the strips. Now I'm going to straighten out my fabric here before I proceed forward. And that can go over here as well. Can go over here as well. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to leave my ruler on it and just scooch it over here, keeping everything aligned. Here we go. It's all nice and aligned now. And now I'm going to straighten this out. All my extra fabric here at the back. I'm going to unfold it. I'm going to unfold this one. Lining up the folded edges down here is what I'm lining up. Then smoothing it out towards the selvage end up here at the top. Once we get all the strips cut, then it'll be easy peasy to go back and cut them down, to subcut them all down. Let's see here. So, we are ready for our next cut for strips. And we've only got 3 more groups of strips to cut. Look how fast that's going. Isn't that awesome? Next is E. E is an eagle. And those are 3.5 inch strips as well. 16, 42, 4. Okay, same amount. Two 3.5 inch cuts for this one. This is for group E is an eagle. Okay, there's one. Need one more to be number 7. Okay. Alrighty. That was group E. Now we're going to do group F right here. I mean, we're getting close. Just got F and G to cut for strips. Let's see here. F. 16. So I'm going to need 3 cuts on this one. 3 cuts. And remember, I have each cut, I'm getting 2 of the light, 2 of cream, 2 of the blue. So that gives me a total of 6 strips of each. And I know that'll be enough. May have a little left over, but it's okay if there is. And this one is a 4.5 inch cut. So that would be there. Right there. I just got to do this 2 more times, and this one will be cut. There's 1. Then 4.5 inch strips. And 1 more. There. And right there. I always like to buy a little more fabric than what a pattern calls for. That way there's no surprises. You know, we all make mistakes, myself included, during the cutting process. And that just gives you a little bit of wiggle room. Plus, there really should be enough fabric left over to do binding as well. Okay, there's that. And the next one are 4.5 inch cut strips as well. going to do the same amount, 3 and 3. Just have to realign my fabric. Let's leave that on there. Perfect. And we'll just smooch this out, smooth it out. Here we go. Okay. So I need 3 cuts at 4.5. There's my first one. And number 2, and then one more. There we go. So let's see what we have here. Okay. How much fabric do I have left over? There's a little over half a yard of the blue left. Should be about the same amount of this, or a little bit more. And there's actually 2/3 of a yard of this, so there's plenty of fabric there. If I need to cut more, a few couple pieces more, there's plenty. There's also plenty to make binding with. So that's all set. I'm going to fold these up nice and neat and lay them to the side. So there, in about 30 minutes, I have cut all the big cuts for this entire quilt top. All the strips are now cut. Now I just have to cut them down to their proper size. So, always referring back to the book here. A was 1 piece. This is A, and it's already cut, just 1 piece. That's the very center of the quilt top. So I'm going to lay that to the side. It's done. Next would be B's. 1.5 inch strips, and they need to be cut down to 6.5 inch. 1.5 by 6.5. So that's these right here. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to spread these out. Let's see here. I'm lining up the bottom line of the strips of fabric with the line on this grid. This is 2 strips thick. And I'm just going to separate them so that the same colors are all next to each other. It'll just make sorting easier once these are cut down. Okay. Let's put these up here. I want to be able to see my numbers at the bottom. And we just want to make sure our selvages over here are past this first line, so when I square up the ends, I cut the selvages off. At the same time. Here we go. Now then, this will be close, will it? Not close enough. So, I'm going to square up this end. And then I'm going to cut it every 6.5 inches. One, 6.5, 13. And 6.5 with that would be 13, 19 and a half. Okay, so what I have here on the very ends are these little scrappy nuggets right here. And let me move something so I can see better. Okay, so what I've got are these are my end cuts. These are the fold lines right here. So I'll save these in case I should need them. If not, they'll be great scraps for a scrap quilt. But I'm going to lay them just in a stack right here. I have, each stack is 4 pieces. So I have 4, 12, 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, 24. And I needed 24 in the cream, so there are all of those. This is group B, as in Bravo. Okay. And now I only needed 22 of those, so I'll have a few extra, but that's okay. So there's 24 and 24. So that is group B, completely cut, group B. Okay. So I'm just stacking them. A is on the bottom, B is on top, and I'll keep laying them like this. The next one I'll cross over this way so they stay separated. And adjusting the size of one of my windows here, everybody. Wonderful, Vanessa. And okay, now then. So next is group C. We have A and B done. These are the strips for group C. C is in Charlie. And C, I make my cuts at 8 inches. These are 3-inch strips, and I got to cut them so they're 3 by 8 inches. Let's see where we end up with this. I'm going to lay them out just like I did before. Right there. And there. Okay. And then 2 of the blues. And 2 right here. Okay, there are those. Now then, I need 22 in cream, 18 in blue. Let's see how this goes. So we're going to trim that even. Then 8 inches, every 8 inches. Lining up my ruler on the 8-inch mark on the mat. This is an 8.5 by 24-inch ruler. I really like it because it really grips the fabric really well since it's 8.5 inches this way. Really like that one. Okay, so then 16 would be the next cut to get 8. Okay. Then, I'm meant to get creative here. So what we got here? 4 and 4. 4 and 4. That's 16. And I need 22 of those. I don't have enough of this cut. But that's okay. What I am going to do, since I have a nice crisp fold line right here, I'm going to put that right on my 0 mark. I got 16. And then I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. Come here, you. Do I need to do that? Yes, I do. No, you know what? I'm going to save these for my scrap pile. I'm going to, let's see, how many of these do I have? Should be 16 of those. Okay. 16 and 16. I need 22 and 18. I just need 2 here, so yeah, I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to open these up and cut them. Just want to make sure they're accurate, like the rest of it. Okay. And we want 8 inches right there. Okay, one more, and that'll be done. Okay, so the blues are all cut. Now I need 6 more of the cream. 6 more of the cream. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That still leave me 2 short, so I'm going to cut another piece of this. Cut one more 3-inch strip, and that should get me to where I need to be. Now I'm making this cut. I don't have my fabric doubled over, so I'm just cutting one strip at 3 inches. One strip at 3 inches. Now then, I need, these are 8-inch cuts. Eight-inch cuts for this one. We've almost got this one whooped. Okay, so there was 16. There's 20. I need 2 more. Just 2 more. Where'd the ruler go? Right here. Eight inches. And one more 8-inch one. See, I had to cut another strip anyway, so that's why I have a little bit of leftovers there, but it's all good. It's all good. There are so many ways to use leftover strips of fabric, everybody. Okay, there. A, B, and C are now complete. Yeehaw. Let me toss these into the little bin over here. There we go. Okay. So, next is this stack. We've only got 4 more stacks to cut up, everybody. Isn't that awesome? So, this is ABC. This is group D as in Dale. And this are 3.5-inch strips, and we're going to cut them so they're 10.5, every 10.5 inches, which means it'd be 10.5 by 3.5. Okay. So that's my leftover piece of fabric from my center cut. And once again, just like I've been doing, I'm going to lay these out in color groups. Color groupies. Just separating my colors from where I cut them so they're side by side. It just makes it, for me, it just makes it easier to count. Y'all can do it however you want to. Whatever works for you. Everybody's brain works a little bit different. And this is just happens to what works for my brain. My brain. Sound like I said migraine. Okay. I'm going to square off the ends. Put those in the bin. And then 10.5-inch cuts. Here will be the first one. Then at 21. Okay. So we'll just see what I have here now. So these are stacks of 4. There's 16 of those and 16 of these. How many did I need? 12 and 14, so yay, had plenty. Had plenty. I always like having a little extra. Next will be group E as in eagle. Once again, 3.5-inch strips. And these are going to be cut at 9.5. So they're 9.5 by 3.5. And I need 14 of blue and 16 of the cream. So I know this is going to cut all of that. Let's get these colors separated. Mike's been working on our furnace, replacing O2 sensors on it. It's working fine, but he's just trying to make it more fuel efficient. There were just some parts that needed replaced on it, so that's what he's been busy doing this week. And here are these all laid out. Woohoo! If you like my fabric I selected for mine, and you would like some, I do have some available. I have 3.5 yard kits available, and they are $75, and that includes a spool of thread to piece with, a 50 weight Madeira thread to piece it with. If anyone's interested, you can email me and I'll send you an invoice if you want to. Totally up to you. Yes, Vanessa, it sure is, let me tell you. Oh my gosh. Because he thought he was going to have to replace the motherboard in the furnace, but he got it narrowed down to just that. Let's see, what am I cutting here before I cut? Ooh, 9.5 inches. That's what I thought. Wanted to make sure. This old house with its 11-foot ceilings and original windows, let me tell you, he has been busy caulking and getting ready for winter. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Would that be right? I think that would be right. 9.5 and 9.5. Yes. Okay. These will be my little leftover pieces with the fold lines in them. Go right there in my scrap pile. And now I have 16 blue and 16 creams, which this was E. I needed 14 blue, they're there, and 16 in cream, and they're there. So I have 2 of the blues left over. Perfect. Okay. So that just leaves two more stacks to cut, everybody. Check it out. These are 4.5 inch strips, and we have 6. We have 3, I made 3 cuts, so I have 6 strips of each. And let's see here. This is F. The letter F is in Frank. Oh, thank you, Mia. So these are 4.5 inch strips, and I'm going to cut them at 13.5 inches. I need 14 blue, 16 in cream. Okay. 13.5 inches. Let's see where we end up on this one. This time I'm not going to separate them, because that way I can cut all 3 stacks at one time. I'm just going to unfold them here, put my selvages down here. 13.5. Okay. Let's square it up. Trim off the selvages. Now, 13.5 inches. Okay, so how many do I now have? Because now I'll have to unfold and cut to get any more. So what do we have here? It's 4 and 4 in each stack, right? Yes, 4 blue. Each one of these 3 stacks has 4 blue and 4 cream. So that would be 12 blue and 12 cream is where we're at right now. So I need 2 more blues and 4 more creams. 2 blues and 4 creams. Okay, I've got that here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I just need 2 of the blues. I'll set these aside for the last step in case I need them, but those might be scraps. So 13.5. Okay. I'm going to grab a different ruler. I think it'll make this one a little easier. This is my Hexenmoor ruler. I'm not cutting the shapes on this, but I'm going to use it for my straight edge. It slides easier. So 13.5. There and there. Okay, so I need 2 of those. 2 at 13.5. 2 blues, 4 creams. 2 blues and 4 creams. Two blues and 4 creams. Yes, I have to talk to myself, everybody, or I'll forget. 2 blues, 13.5 is the important number. There are those. And since those were a fold line, I will press this so you can't, so that's not there. I will actually steam it a little bit. I might have to mist it or whatever to get that crease out of it. But whenever you do that, you see something like that, just press it before you actually sew it into your project. Now, I got to cut 4 creams at 13.5. Okay. And I'm doing them one at a time because of that fold line. That way you'll get the most accurate cut. Two more to go. 13.5 inch cuts. Woohoo. And one more. One more. Excuse me. Right there. Alrighty. So there is group F completely cut. right there. Which means we have one, just one, one more group to cut. There we go, 4.5 inches. These will be cut at 12.5 inches. And I need 16 in blue, 18 in cream. Let's see where we end up with. We're gonna get her started. Get it started. I'm gonna do just like before. Like so. This would give me 12 and 12. Then I'll have my folds to use to get the rest of the way where I need to be. Okay. So everybody, this is 8 layers of fabric that I'm cutting through right here. You don't have to do this many, but I have a really, really good, my rotary cutter is good and sharp, and it's working just fine. Earlier I was using this smaller one. This one is really great if you're going to cut around curves. I use this one mainly just to cut out stuff for garments. This is what I use for cutting out garments for the most part. Right there. We're going to square off the end. Square off that end. And then we're going to make 12.5 inch cuts. So 12.5. Right there. Okay. So I now know that is 12 of each. Right there, 12 and 12. So I have 12 cream, 12 blue, and I need 16 blue, 18 cream. So 16, I need 4 more blues. This will be easy. I won't have to cut any more fabric. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I need 6 more of the cream. There's 2, 4, and 6 right there. So we're going to cut some more. These will be 12.5 inch cuts. And hold on just a minute, everybody. So, 12.5 inch cuts. And I am going to cut these one at a time so it's good and accurate. Twelve and a half. I need 4 blues. 1. 2. It's 2 blues, 2 more to go. And this will be 3 blues right here. All of these cuts are 12.5 inches. It's 3. Yes. One more. Twelve and a half inch cut right here. There we go. So that gives me 16 blue. This is step G. G as in great. So that gives me 16 blue. I need 18 cream. There's 12 in this stack, so I have to cut 6 more in cream. Six more in the creams. Twelve and a half inches. There's one. Here is 2. Here's 2. 4 more to go. Here is 4. This will be cut number 4. 12 and a half inches. Number 5. 12 and a half inches. There. And one more, I think. I'm not sure. I need 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 more to go. Just 2 more to go. These are 4.5 inch strips. We're cutting them so they measure 12 and a half. So the pieces for round G as in great are 4.5 by 12.5 inches. Okay. And now we have one more to go. Here's number 6. Cutting this will give me a total of 16 blue and 18 cream. Okay. Oh my gosh, everybody, you're not going to believe it, but guess what? The pieces are all cut for this quilt top. How about that? Pretty awesome, right? Oh my goodness. So what I've got here, just so we all know what we're doing, this is group G as in great, 4.5 by 12.5. Group F as in family. Those are 4.5 inch cuts, 13.5, 4.5. I'm stacking these in order, last strip sewn to the next. And that way, so these are 3.5 by 9.5. That's group E, as in eagle. Is that right? Wait. Did I just mess that up? Let's make sure I got that right. There's G, F, E. This is D as in Dale. This is C as in Charlie. It's 3.5 by 3.5 by 10.5. Then we have group, that was group C? No, I'm off one. But these are this is 3 inches by, that was D right there. This is C, and it is 3 by 8. That cut. This is the 1.5 inch cuts. This is group B, and these were 1.5 by 6.5. And then A, our center square. This is the very center of this quilt, right there. And there they are. Woohoo! Yeehaw! That's awesome. Any questions about that, everybody? How's everybody doing? Those that are cutting. Let me get me a drink of my coffee. My voice is wanting to go bye-bye. But as you can see, if you buy 2 3.5 yard cuts, it only takes, cut 8 strips, 2.5 inches for the binding. Well, there's more than enough of either one of these 2 fabrics to cut those strips out of. Okay, so you have plenty of fabric, leftover fabric for your binding. Easy peasy. Right there. Wonderful, Vanessa. And hey, after that last one we did, the Lacy Log Cabin, that had 1,088 pieces in it. I thought it was time to do an easy one. So you saw how quickly, just a hair over an hour, and the entire quilt top was cut. I like it like that. It's nice when it works out that way. Woohoo! But everybody, our next session, we will start sewing all of this fun stuff together. I recommend, if you're sewing on a sewing machine, to use a 50 weight thread to piece with, but you can do whatever you want. Awesome, Mia. I can't wait to see your quilt. I know you'll do fine. And it's all good. Remember, every one you make, it gets easier. And I think this is a great quilt for you to get started with. It'll also be a beautiful quilt to sleep under. This one, when I finish it, is probably going to go on the bed. The bedroom is done in blue, so it's really going to match it well. And let me get you a picture of the inspirational photos for this one. Right here is the quilt, okay? Kaffe's inspiration were these blue and white beach umbrellas. They're off on the Italian coast. So all the photos in this book were actually photographed in Italy, and that's why it's named Quilts in Italy. Just a preview for December. This is our next quilt right here called Losing My Marbles, and we will have it done no later than Christmas Eve. And this is not a huge quilt, but there's a lot of work in it. It's just squares of fabric with circles appliqued on top of it. So it won't be that bad to do. However, boy howdy, it is I'm going to show more than one way to do these appliques. But what I'm thinking, I'm just going to piece all the squares together and then do these in the hoop. Each individual one in the hoop. It's the only way that I know to do it. But that'll be our next one. Right there. That will be the next one out of this book. And then looking forward to next year, everybody. I've got 2 more of Kaffe's books that I'm researching. There's this one that I just picked up down in Naples, Florida, Quilts in Ireland. There's some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ones in there, as you can see. And what I'm going to do like 5 patterns out of each one of these books for our Kaffe Fassett series. But we're going to do some other things as well. I've been looking at some quilt kits that are easily I'm going to look at some quilt kits that would be easy for y'all to be able to purchase from a quilt shop. And then it would take out the whole thing of fabric selection out. And I got a bunch of ideas for 2023. So that being said, let me swap this over. There we go. That being said, that is how to cut out our Quilts in Italy's pattern blue and white quilt on page I lost my marker. 58, I think. Yes. Page 58. That's how to cut out the blue and white quilt. And what we will be doing... Oh, wonderful, Alexis. I just purchased that book, that one as well, The Quilts in Wells. Lucky you. Gosh. But this is what we will start piecing on in our next session. I will get that one figured out. It'll either be, probably won't be until next Saturday, is what I'm planning on. And just Saturday at noon will be our Quilts in Italy series. And thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I will see you next weekend for sure, next Friday and Saturday. And there might be some more things thrown in between now and then. We'll just have to wait and see. But thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your beautiful Saturday. And I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.